Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna.
Prabhuji, is it okay to show those Sanskrit words 3-1, that is Layatmakat and Vikshepakatvat and Shanta Swachha Swabhavat Katmat? Because, I don't think I'm writing it properly. So, those Sanskrit words, if you can just show me on the screen or you can put it up on the group.
Which Sanskrit words?
That is when in Tamoguna person is in the stage of stupor. So, that is Layatmakat. When in Rajoguna person undergoes Vikshepa, he is constantly in a distracted mood. So that is Vikshepa Katvak. So I don't think I'm writing the Sanskrit properly. Then in the third one is that is in the mode of Sattva, Shanta Swacha Swabhava Katmak. So I don't know whether I've written it. The term. So you can.
Here, this is 14th one. Shiva Shakti Yuta Shashvat Trilingo Guna Samvritaha Vaikarikastaijasascha Tamasas Chetyaham Trida Tato Vikara Abhavan Shodashameshu Kinchana Upadhavan Vibhutinam Sarvasam Ashnute Gatim Harirhi Nirguna Sakshat Purusha Prakrite Paraha Sa Sarvadrik Upadrashta Tambajan Nirguno Bhavet. So did we complete this Anucheda?
So we started with Vishnu is beyond the material gunas, Anucheda 13, 10.83.3 and 5. We just started with that. Sri Shuka confirms the same supremacy of Vishnu in 3 verses. So we started with this.
Okay.
Yeah, Prabhuji, whenever you get some time, wanted to understand these 3 words in the sense I'm not being able to, I've understood what it is, but whilst writing, I don't know whether I've written them properly. That is Vikshepa, Katvak and Shanta Swacha Swabhavat Katmak. What, I mean, that
We
Layatma
will
Kat.
go through it today. We'll go through it.
Yeah, so it's okay whenever.
Shiva Shakti Yuta Shashwat. Shiva ever remains united with his energy. Trilingo Gunasamvrataha. As Trilinga, one who bears 3 marks, he is endowed with the 3 gunas of nature. Gunasamvrataha. It's a very important word. He is endowed with the 3 gunas of nature. And Vaikarikas Taijasascha Tamasaschet Trida. So he presides over the conditional ahankara principle, which is a threefold: Vaikarika, Taijasa, and Tamasa. That is Satvika Ahankara, Rajasika Ahankara, and Tamasika Ahankara. Tato Vikara Abhavan, Shodashamishu Kinchana. From these 3 types of Ahankara manifest the Shodashamishu, the 16 modifications of Prakriti. So then, Upadavan Vibhutinam Sarvasam Ashnute Gatim. Upadavan Vibhutinam, the result of worshipping Lord Shiva. One who worships Shiva as presiding over, one who worships any among these modifications. That is, one who worships Shiva as a presiding deity of these three ahankaras, are the 3 transformations of the ahankara in the form of the 16 things, that is the mind, karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, and the sense objects, the 5 tanmatras. One who worships any among these modifications, sarvasam ashnute, enjoys the fruit of all the material opulences. Sarvasam ashnute gatim. So two shlokas describe the position of Lord Shiva. The third shloka describes that Harirhi Nirguna Sakshat. So you can see the difference. Trilingo Gunasamvritaha was used for Lord Shiva. For Lord Vishnu, Nirguna Sakshat is beyond the three gunas. Purusha Prakriti Paraha. So Bhagavan Vishnu, the Supreme Person himself, free from the three gunas and beyond material nature. And sa sarvadrik upadrashta tambajan nirguno bhavet. Sarvadrik upadrashta. He is the all-seer and the witness. All-seeing and the witness. And one who worships him becomes free from the three gunas of nature. So now Jiva Goswami is explaining the shloka. Shashvat Shakti Yutaha Pratamatas Tavan Nityameva Shaktya. Shashvat Shakti Yutaha Pratamatas Tavan Nityameva Shaktya Guna Samyavasta Prakriti Rupopadina Yuktaha. So the phrase Shiva Shakti Yuta Shashvat, ever remains united with his energy, means that Shiva is endowed from the very beginning, that means always and eternally, with this energy, namely the Upadhi formed by the Prakriti or the gunas in their state of equilibrium. So Lord Shiva is endowed from the beginningless time with this energy, namely the upadhis formed by the Prakriti or the gunas in the state of equilibrium. That means Lord Shiva is always united with Prakriti. Nityameva Shaktya Guna Samyavasta Prakriti Rupa Upadina Yuktaha. Guna Samyavasta means the gunas in the state of equilibrium. So Guna Kshobe Sati Trilingo Gunatrayo Upadihi. Gunakshobe, when the gunas get agitated, Trilingo Gunatrayo Upadihi. So when the gunas of nature are destabilized, he becomes a Trilinga. One who bears the three marks. That means he takes on the upadhis of the three gunas. He takes on the upadhis of the three gunas. And Prakataischa Sadbistair Gunaihi Samrutascha. Prakataischa Sadbistair Gunaihi Samrutascha. So when these gunas are manifest, he is covered by them. So that is why Guna Samvritaha. He is covered by the three gunas, Lord Shiva. So now a doubt is raised. Nanu tam upaditvam tasya shruyate katam tattat upaditvam. So it is heard from authoritative sources that Shiva has only Tamoguna as a upadhi. Limiting adjunct means upadhi. Tamoguna as the umadhi. So how is it said that he has three upadhis? That is Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So, Nanu Tama Upadhitvena Tasya Shruyate, that is covered only, he has the only Upadhi of Tamoguna. Katam Tattat Upadhitvam, that how is it said that he is covered by all the three Upadhis? Tatra Aha Vaikarika iti Aham ahantavyam hi tattat rupena trida. So generally, any one guna is not, when one guna is present, that means the other two gunas are also present, because no guna is separately present. All the three gunas are intermingled with each other. So this is answered in the second half of the first verse. The three is a reference to the ahankara principle, which is of three types as specified here. And he presides over that ego. And he presides over that ego. So that means he presides over the ego in the three gunas, sattva guna, rajoguna, and tamoguna. So such a tat adhishtata ityartha. Tad adhishtata. That means he is the presiding deity of the ahankara. Mukhyataya nastam nama namanya tat gunadvayam gaunataya tu asta eva ityartha. Mukhyataya nastam namanyat gunadvayam gaunataya twasta eva ityartha. This means that even though it may be accepted that the other two gunas do not exist in him in the primary sense, but the secondary presence must certainly be accepted. The other two gunas, sattva guna and rajo guna, they are also present secondarily. Mukhyataya na astam. The mukhyataya na astam means the rajo guna and the sattva guna, they are not present primarily, but namanyat gunadvayam gaunataya to asta eva ityartha. Gaunataya, secondarily, the other two gunas, sattva guna and rajo guna, they are also present in Lord Shiva. So, is it clear so far? Any doubts in this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I mean, present in the sense what like. So there are so many attributes of any guna. Like suppose say tamoguna has so many attributes. So like so which means everything is present in him. Like just whatever Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita. Like so all those things are present in him, or he is just managing them. How do we understand that, Prabhuji? He
Lord
being
Shiva.
one of the.
So, if you see, when Lord Shiva, Shakti Yuta Shashvat Trilingo Guna Samvrataha, when Lord Shiva is described as covered by the three gunas, we should not understand that he is like any one of the conditioned soul, because conditioned soul is like affected by the three gunas. And conditioned soul exhibits the different qualities of the sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna. But when Lord Shiva is affected by the three gunas, he is not like a conditioned soul. It is, for example, let us go through this. I think there is a purport. In the Bhagavatam 10.88.5, it is explained. Sridhar Swami cites the following passage from the Vedic literature. Vastuno gunasambandhe रूपद्वयम् इहेष्यते tat dharma yoga yogabhyam bimbavat pratibimbavat. When the absolute reality associates with the modes of nature, guna sambandhe, he assumes two different kinds of form in this world. Rupadvayam iha ishyate. According to whether his spiritual qualities are manifest or not. Thus he acts just like a reflection and its further secondary reflection. Bimba and pratibimba. So when the absolute reality associates with the modes of nature, he assumes two different kinds of form in this world. He acts like a bimba and pratibimba. Further it is explained. Guna satvadaya shanta ghoramuda swabhavatah Vishnu Brahma Shivanam cha Gunayantra Swarupinam. So the modes of goodness, passion and ignorance, whose individual natures are what? Shanta, Gora and Muda. Shanta is the nature of Sattva Guna, that is peaceful. And Ghora is the nature of Rajoguna, and Muda is the nature of Tamoguna. So the modes of nature, whose individual natures are peaceful, violent, and foolish, are personally regulated by Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva, respectively. Vishnu, Brahma, Shivanam cha Gunayantra Swarupina. Nati Bedo, Bhaved Bedo, Gunadharmairihamshatah, Satvasya Shantya no Jatu, Vishnur Vikshepa Mudate. So the Vishnu's peaceful mode of goodness does not substantially differ from his original spiritual qualities. Na atibedo, bhaved bedo. Lord Vishnu's peaceful mode of goodness does not differ from his original spiritual qualities. Although it is only a partial manifestation of them within this world. So therefore, Lord Vishnu's mode of goodness is never tainted by Rajoguna or Tamoguna. Rajoguna's nature is agitation, Tamoguna's nature is delusion. So Sattvasya Shantya no Jatu Vishnur Vikshepa Mudate. So Vishnu is perpetually in the state of Shuddha Sattva. He even controls the Sattva Guna by being near Sattva Guna but not being in touch with the Sattva Guna. While being indifferent to Sattva Guna, he actually regulates the Sattva Guna. But in the case of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, Rajastamo Gunabhyam tu Bhavetam Brahma Rudrayoho Gunopamardato Bhuyas Tad Amshanam cha Binnata. By the modes of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, on the other hand, the original spiritual qualities of Lord Brahma and Lord Rudra are obscured. Gunopa mardato bhuyah tad amshanam cha binnata. The original spiritual qualities, guna upamardato, the spiritual qualities of Brahma and Shiva are obscured. Thus, these spiritual qualities appear only partially, tad amshanam, as bhinnata, as separated material qualities. So, like for example, coming to yes, sir. The next two shlokas also will go through it. Ata samagra sattvasya Vishnur mokshakari matihi amshato bhuti hetuscha tatananda mayi swatah. Ata, therefore, focusing one's consciousness upon Vishnu, who is the embodiment of all goodness, samagra sattvasya, and mokshakari leads one to liberation. And such God consciousness also generates material success as a byproduct. But its proper nature is pure spiritual ecstasy. Tata anandamayi swatah. So amshato bhuti hetuscha. As a byproduct, one can also get material success. And then amshatas taratamyena brahmarudradi sevinam vibhutayo bhavantyeva shanair moksho anamshatah. But according to their mode of worship, devotees of Brahma and Rudra and other demigods obtain the limited success of material opulences. Eventually, they may shanaihi moksho pyanamshatah. They may possibly become qualified for full liberation. So when we say that Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they are covered, particularly here, Lord Shiva is covered by the gunas. One thing we have to understand that we should not place him in the category of the living entity. Sometimes, for the sake of carrying out the destruction of this world, he accepts the tamoguna. He uses the, say, tamoguna or Brahmaji uses the Rajoguna for the purpose of creation. So sometimes they may become covered by the gunas, but they will quickly come out of the covering of the three gunas. They will quickly come to the transcendental platform also, because they are the gunavataras of the Lord, and although sometimes they become covered with the gunas, but they essentially use those gunas and they quickly come to the transcendental platform. That is what I have heard in the different classes. So we cannot put Lord Shiva in the category of a living entity. Like for example, in Tamoguna, we hear in the Bhagavad Gita different symptoms of Tamoguna. Pramada, Moha, Nidralasya. One becomes inattentive, one is sleepy, one is daydreaming, one is lazy. One considers adharma to be dharma, dharma to be adharma. These are all symptoms of tamoguna. Tamoguna intelligence, tamoguna worker. Ayukta prakrita stapta, shato naishkritiko lasaha, vishadi dirgha sutri cha karta tamasa uchyate. Like that worker in the tamoguna, like it is described in detail. So here it's not specifically mentioned like which aspect of tamoguna, but sometimes they become covered by tamoguna. But we know that Lord Shiva is there are so many statements in the scriptures where Lord Shiva is given the same position as the Ishvara, on the same position as the Vishnu. Kshiram yata dadivikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahi tata prutagasti hetoho. Sanjayate nahi tata prutagasti hetoho. He is not different from Vishnu. Nahi tata prutagasti heto. That is the meaning. Means he is given almost the same position as Vishnu, but at the same time he is not equal to Vishnu in all respects. He is not equal to Vishnu in all respects. At the same, but he is almost in the same position as the Vishnu. That is the description given. So, although he becomes covered by the three gunas, but they quickly come out of the covering of the three gunas. That's how we can understand.
Thank you very much.
Is it all right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
If there are further quotations, I'll share that also. What I had, there is one class of Haripat Prabhu where he quoted one shloka. Let me see if I can get. Yeah, sometimes Brahma and Shiva are overcome by Rajoguna and Tamoguna, but very quickly they come out of it. Most times, Lord Shiva is free from the modes of nature. Sometimes he is influenced by Tamoguna, and that also comes for the sake of the pastimes. So, that's how we explain. Bhava Prathadara yecha tan samanuvratah pashandinaste bhavantu Satyastra Paripantinaha. One who takes a vow to satisfy Lord Shiva or who follows such principles will certainly become an atheist and be diverted from transcendental scriptural injunctions. We know that Lord Shiva, for the sake of elevating people in Tamoguna, he assumes a certain conduct. He dresses himself like he smears his body with the ashes. He puts a garland of skulls. So, Lord Shiva, in that sense, he is in a transcendental platform, Sometimes for the sake of certain pastimes, he may be somewhat covered by the gunas. Like in the Mohini Murti pastime, was covered by Rajoguna. And that too for the sake of pastime, for glorifying Lord Vishnu. So, but they quickly come out of it. Is there any other quotation? About Lord Brahma, it is explained that, like for example, in the Bhagavatam, when the four Kumaras refused to obey the order of Brahma to procreate, so at that time Brahma became angry. Because it is explained that because Brahma was absorbed in the mode of passion, it was natural for him to become angry. That is Srila Prabhupada's purport. At the same time, he understood that I should not exhibit my anger toward the four Kumaras. So therefore, Brahma restrained his anger. Brahma restrained his anger. And then he tried to control his anger, but the anger came out from in between his eyebrows, and from that Rudra was born. When the four Kumaras asked Brahma, how can we withdraw the mind from the sense objects? At that time, Brahma could not answer the question of the four Kumaras. Again, it is explained that because Brahma was absorbed in the activities of creation, which are in Rajoguna, therefore he could not get the answers, he could not answer the question of the four Kumaras. But Brahma meditated on Lord Vishnu. At that time, Lord Vishnu appeared as the Hamsavatara, and then he answered the questions of the four Kumaras. That is called as a Hamsa Gita, the 11th canto, chapter 13, if I remember. The Hamsavatara answered the question of the four Kumaras. So Brahmaji, sometimes he gets covered by the Rajoguna, and that too for the sake of the seva, and quickly he comes out of it. Similarly, also, Lord Shiva also is overcome by Rajoguna and Tamoguna, but they quickly come out of it. So this is how the first shloka is explained. That is, Shiva Shaktiyuta Shashvat Trilingo Gunasamvrataha Vaikarikas Tejasascha Tamasascheti Triditra Trida. So now the next point, we'll go ahead.
Prabhuji, sorry, I'm bothering.
Yes.
So just wanted to understand, Prabhuji, like when we say the anger, so the anger is predominantly in the mode of tamas. But certain times we see that, devotees, they also get angry. For example, Prabhupada gives the example of Hanumanji getting angry, and then, like fire, I mean, the setting of Sri Lanka to fire, and then Arjuna getting angry in that this one. So he says that's all for the, I mean, it's all spiritual for the, as a service to the Lord, right?
Correct.
So in that case, Prabhuji, like, how do we put that particular anger into it? Which is it? Even though it's anger, it doesn't belong to the mode of
it is
tamas.
transcendental only.
Transcendental. Okay, so like, so when the devotees had to show that anger for the purpose of service to the Lord, so then we don't put it in that category of tamas, right?
Correct. Yes. Okay. It is transcendental.
Okay. So in that way, we see, like, even though when it is said that Lord Shiva or Brahmaji also covered by different modes, so that is also it's a transcendental from a higher perspective, right, Prabhuji? So that is in the service of Krishna.
We can say that. Because Shastra is saying guna samvritaha, covered by the gunas, but not like any ordinary living entity. But sometimes they get covered with the gunas and they quickly come out of it. That's how we have to understand. About Brahmaji, Brahma there are 4 categories of Brahma. It is described in the Shastra, in the 11th canto. Purports also it is explained. Yeah. Sometimes a Brahma may be a Karmi Brahma, or a Jnani Brahma, or a devotee Brahma. Within the devotee Brahma, there are 2 categories. Karmi Brahma, he again, Karmi Brahma, he takes birth among the fruitive actors after in the next life. Jnani Brahma, he attains Sayujya Mukti. Among the devotee Brahma, a pure devotee, he attains Krishna's eternal service. Yeah, and another devotee Brahma who has some tendency to control, such a person again takes birth as Brahma. In that way, the 4 categories of Brahma are described. So Brahma, because this particular shloka, current shloka, is specifically talking about the difference between Vishnu and Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So Brahma is also covered with the 3 gunas, but he uses the Rajoguna in the service of Krishna. Sometimes he can get covered by Rajoguna, but he quickly comes out of it also. Also we can understand. And he is predominantly situated in Sattva Guna. And in the case of a devotee, he may be predominantly in the transcendental 3 modes of nature. And he uses the Rajoguna for the service of Krishna.
Thank you.
Like that.
So, like Dhruva getting angry even after having darshan of the Lord, that it's because of that 18.43, I think, Bhagavad Gita. Is that the quality? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there is a verse in the. You can see the screen. There is a verse.
No, Prabhuji. Since the time we've started the class, we can't see the screen. That's why some Sanskrit words or something I want to see, I won't be able to.
Oh,
No,
I'm sorry.
that's why it becomes difficult for me to write down because I'm not able to see the words.
I stopped I forgot to share the screen only.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose I completely forgot. Okay. See, in the Bhagavatam, in the Bhakti Sandarbha, I have been showing the screen. I thought I shared the screen actually. You can remind me next time. The Bhakti Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami quotes that Atra Bhakta Siddhas Trividaha. Perfected devotees are of 3 types. Now you can see the screen.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prapta Bhagavat Parshada Deha. Bhagavat Parshada Deha. Those who attain the body of an eternal associate, like Narada. Some may be eternally in that position, Nitya Siddha, or it could be Sadhana Siddha. But they have attained they are the eternal associate of Krishna. Second is Nirduta Kashaya, Murchita Kashayascha. Those who are in the body of a practitioner but are fully freed from the materialistic tendencies, like Shukdev Goswami. Like Shukdev Goswami. Nirduta Kashaya means those who are fully freed from the materialistic tendencies. Murchita Kashaya refers to those who are in the body of a practitioner but have some traces of inactive materialistic tendencies remaining. Example, Narada in his previous life. That Pragjanma Gata Naradadayaha. Pragjanma Gata Naradadayaha. So in this 3rd category, Dhruva Maharaj exhibiting anger towards yakshas, excessive anger that can come. Those who are in the body of a practitioner and have some traces of inactive materialistic tendencies remaining. Narada in his previous life. So in this we can put like Dhruva Maharaj, he became excessively angry towards the yaksha. Prachetas, they showed a little extra anger and they started burning all the trees. That may also come in that category. Some traces of inactive materialistic tendencies are remaining. So in that case, like that, we can. These are the three categories of perfected devotees. So I thought I have been showing the screen. You are able to see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So these three shlokas we discussed. 10.88.3 to 5. I read the meaning of this, and then I explained these two paragraphs. So Shiva Shakti Yuta Pratamas Tavan Nityameva Shaktya. Shiva is endowed with the Shakti eternally. And that Shakti initially it is in the state of equilibrium of the three gunas. Guna Samya Avastha Prakriti Rupo Upadina Yukta. Guna Kshobhe, when the three gunas get agitated, they take on three forms. Gunatrayo Upadihi. Prakataicha Sadbis Tair Gunaihi Samvritahacha. So Lord Shiva becomes covered with the three gunas. So, but although Lord Shiva is described as covered by Tamo Guna, but how can you say that he is covered by all the three gunas? So for that, Jiva Goswami says that Lord Shiva is covered by the other two gunas, Sattva and Rajo secondarily. Mukhyataya na astam namani anyat gunadvayam gaunataya tu asta eva ityartah. Secondarily, he becomes covered. So, going ahead. Tataha tatastena bhagavat pratinidhi rupena, important word, bhagavat pratinidhi rupena adhishtatad ahantatvad shodasha vikara ye abavan namishu vikareshu madhye sarvasam vibhutinam sambandhinam kinchana upadavan tad upadikatvena tam upasino gatim prapyam palam labate. So the second verse says, what the second verse? That tato vikara abavan shodashamishu kinchana. The three types of false ego, they become transformed into 16 elements. From ahankara and sattva comes the mind and the presiding deities of the devatas. From ahankara and rajoguna comes the intelligence and the 5 karmendriyas and 5 jnanendriyas. From ahankara and tamoguna comes the tanmatras. So upadavan vibhutinam sarvasam ashnute gatim. So one who worships, so these 16 elements are the 3 ahankaras. They attain great material opulences. So that this passage is explained in this paragraph. So Jiva Goswami says that then from the ego principle, which is presided over by Lord Shiva, as a representative of Bhagavan, tat pratinidhi rupena, from that ego principle come the 16 modifications. So a person who worships Lord Shiva as presiding over, that means a person who worships any among these modifications, taking that element as being connected to all opulences, attains the fruit that is aspired for. Whatever material thing which is aspiring for, he will attain that. In other words, such fruit is obtained by worshipping him as delimited by that particular upadhi. Such a fruit is obtained by worshipping him. When you worship Lord Shiva as delimited by that upadhi, then you get that particular material fruit. By worshipping Lord Shiva as covered by that upadhi, then a person obtains different material fruits which a person is aspiring for. So that is the second shloka. The third shloka describes Harirhi Nirguna Sakshat Purusha Prakrite Paraha. He prasiddau hetau va haristu prakriter upaditah parastad dharmair asprushtah अतएव निर्गुणोपि कुतस्त्रिलिंगत्वात् त्रिलिंगत्वादिकमिति भावः. So the third verse, the word he, Harir, he nirguna sakshat. The word he indicates universal acknowledgement. That means it is well known that Hari is nirguna. Harir, he nirguna sakshat. It is well known that Hari is beyond the three gunas. But but in contrast to Lord Shiva, Bhagavan Hari is transcendental to the limitations imposed by the material nature. Purusha Prakrite Parah. Being untouched by its attributes. Therefore, being free of the gunas, how can he be limited by these three gunas? How can he be limited by these three gunas and so on as Lord Shiva? So Lord Vishnu is never limited with the three gunas. But Lord Shiva, it is described that Shiva Shakti Yuta Shashvat Trilingo Guna Samvritaha. Lord Shiva is limited with the three gunas and is covered with the three gunas. But Lord Vishnu is Harirhi Nirguna Sakshat. He is always above the three gunas and is always above beyond Prakriti. And then Shukdev Goswami gives the reason. Tatra hetuhu sakshadeva purusha prakrite paraha. Because sakshadeva purusha, Ishwaraha, natu pratibimbavat vyavadanena ityartha. Natu pratibimbavat vyavadanena ityartha. So, Hari is directly the Purusha himself, namely the supreme controller, and not separated like a reflection from the reflected object. The reflection is separated from the reflected object. So Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are like the reflection. They are somewhat separated from the reflected object. But Lord Vishnu is directly the Purusha. So Ato Vidya Avidye Mamatanu, 11th canto, 11th chapter, 3rd shloka. Itivat Tanu Shabdo Padanat Kutrachit Satvashaktitva Shravanamapi Prekshadimatrena Upakaritvad iti bhavaha. Prekshadimatreno Upakaritvad iti bhavaha. So in the 11th canto, there is a shloka which says that Vidya Avidye Mamatanu. Vidya and Avidya are my two energies. Are my two energies. In the same way, sometimes it is said that Hari is endowed with the energy of Sattva, which simply means that he is related to Sattva Guna by rendering it functional through his mere glance. And not that he has it as an upadhi in the way that Lord Shiva has. Itivat Tanushabda Upadanat Kutrachit Sattva Shaktitva Shravanamapi Prekshadi Matrena. Preksha means a glance. Prekshadi Matrena Upakaritvad iti bhavaha. Lord Shiva is connected with Sattva Guna through his glance. Not that he has a upadhi of Sattva Guna, like Lord Shiva has a upadhi of Tamo Guna. So therefore, Lord Vishnu is actually directly the Purusha. So Atayeva Sarvesham Shiva Brahmadinam Drikjnanam Yasmat Tatabhutah San Upadrashta Tadadi Sakshi Bhavati Atastam Bhajan nirguno bhavet gunatita palabhag bhavati iti. So atayeva, therefore, sarvesham shiva brahmadinam drigyanam. Therefore, being all seeing, that drigyanam, because sarva drig, because being all seeing, or in other words, being the one from whom everyone's vision or knowledge is derived. That person from whom everyone's vision or everyone's knowledge is derived, including that of Shiva and Brahma. Sarvesham Shiva Brahmadinam Drigyanam Yasmat Tata Bhutah San Upadrashta Tad Adi Sakshi Bhavati. Lord Vishnu is that person who is the Sarvadrig, who is the Sarva Sakshi. He is that person from whom everyone's vision or knowledge is derived, including that of Shiva and Brahma. Therefore, he is also their observer or witness. Therefore, by worshipping him, one becomes free from the gunas, meaning he attains a result beyond the material gunas. That is the explanation of these three shlokas. Any doubts in this?
Thank you. Thank you.
This is the 14th anuccheda. So essentially, you see, the shloka is taken from the Bhagavatam. We have to just focus on every word of the shloka. And every word of the shloka is just illuminated. Same meaning is little more explained more clearly by the acharyas in the commentary, in the prose commentary. The three shlokas are quoted, three consecutive shlokas, 10.88, 3, 4 and 5. So previously, in the previous two anuchedas, we discussed 1.2.23 and 23 and 24, that Sattvam rajastamayati prakriter gunastair yukta para purusha eka ihasya datte tityadayo shivavirinchi hareti sanya Shreyamsi tatra kalu sattvatanor nrinamsyu. Shreyamsi tattva, that one attains the highest Shreya by worshipping Lord Vishnu, who is having the form of Shuddha Sattva. And the next shloka, Parthiva daruno dhumas tasmad agnis trayimayah tamasastu rajastasmad sattvam yad brahma darshanam. These two shlokas we discussed in the previous two anuchedas. Now the next shloka is basically 10.88, 4 and 5. So these shlokas clearly describe the superior position of Vishnu over Brahma and Shiva. So we just go through the purport, it will become more clear. Purport is just explaining the same. The three verses under discussion in this section were spoken by Shukdev Goswami in response to a query asked by King Parikshit. So Parikshit asked that Shiva is somebody who appears outwardly as inauspicious, having abandoned all enjoyment and social propriety. And Lord Hari is the husband of Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and a fortunate, goddess of wealth and fortune. But it is observed that the Devas and Asuras and the human beings who worship Shiva are generally materially opulent and enjoy sense pleasures, while those devoted to Vishnu are indignant. Why is this? That is the question of Parikshit Maharaj. So that the 10th canto, this 88th chapter, 87, 88 and 89th chapter. These three chapters describe very important Siddhanta. That out of in the 87th chapter, personified Vedas prayers, they clearly establish the position of Bhagavan as superior to Brahman and Paramatma, because they offer prayers to the personality of God. The 88th chapter clearly established the position of Vishnu superior to Brahma and Lord Shiva. So Bhrigu Muni going to find out the supreme among the three Purushas. That story is there. 89th chapter we see the position of Krishna as superior to even Mahavishnu. Because Mahavishnu stole the sons of the Brahmanas to get darshan of Krishna and Arjuna. So these 87, 88, 89th chapter, they describe very important Siddhantic conclusions. So this is the question of Parikshit Maharaj. Shukdev Goswami replied, the immediate next 3 shlokas, that Bhagavan Vishnu takes away the wealth of his devotees, which enables them to, the famous shloka, Yasyaham anugrishnami harishye taddanam shanaihi, which enables them to see through the false ego of independent enjoyership. This vision, in turn, becomes the basis of total self-surrender unto Bhagavan. And the devotees become fully devoted and attain him, becoming free of the 3 gunas of nature. But in contrast, Lord Shiva blesses his devotees with material enjoyment, which aggravates the sense of enjoyership and diverts consciousness towards the mundane. See, so this description makes evident the supreme status of Vishnu as well as Shiva and Brahma's subordination to him. So being transcendental, he awards trans-empirical, that means transcendental benedictions to his devotees. Material benedictions are temporary, and therefore Bhagavan has no impetus to offer material benedictions. So Bhagavan is like a skilled physician who cures a disease from the root without allowing his patient to eat the rich food that might serve as a momentary pleasure but is ultimately detrimental. Satyam dishat artitam artito nrinam naivatmano yat punarartita yatah swayam vidatte bhajatam anicchatam ichchapidanam nijapada pallavam. 5th canto, 19th chapter, around 26-27, those shlokas. When somebody even worships Lord Vishnu with a material desire in mind, Krishna fulfills the desire, but Krishna also gives the taste of his lotus feet, although the devotee was not aspiring for it. And by giving the taste, superior taste of his transcendental lotus feet, and the devotee becomes free from the material desire also. In that way, Lord Vishnu cures a disease from the root. So Jiva Goswami comments that sometimes it is said that Vishnu is the presiding deity or possessor of the power of Sattva Guna, just as Shiva is of Tamo Guna and Brahma is of Rajo Guna. So Krishna himself affirms this. Vidya avidye mamatanu. The word tanu usually means body, but in this verse the word tanu does not mean body. Here the tanu means Shakti. So vidya avidya mamatanu means vidya and avidya are my 2 Shaktis. So here we don't take the popular meaning of the word tanu as the body. The word tanu is derived from the root tan, which means to expand. Tanu vistare, that is the root dhatu. Here it is used in the sense of energy or manifestation and not the body. Because Vidya and Avidya cannot be the bodies. Vidya implies Sattva and Avidya implies Raja and Tamo Guna. So the word Tanu is used in the place of Shakti to signify that Bhagavan renders Vidya and Avidya functional without directly contacting them. Vidya, Avidya, Mamatanu, Vidya and Avidya that are actually Krishna's 2 Shaktis. And with Krishna, Bhagavan makes them functional without directly contacting them. That is why we saw that explanation that Itivat Tanu Shabdopadanat Kutrachit Satra Shaktitva Shravanamapi Prekshadi Matrena. Prekshadi Matrena, that means by glance upon the 3 gunas, by glance upon the Sattva Guna. So, just as the Atma or the Self makes the body functional by its proximity, Atma makes the body functional by its proximity. Similarly, Bhagavan makes Vidya and Avidya Shakti functional by its proximity. A doubt that may be raised here is that since Vishnu interacts with Sattva Guna and Sattva Guna is his potency, he must be influenced by the Sattva Guna. So Jiva Goswami clarifies that Vishnu is not under the influence of Sattva Guna. He is transcendental to Sattva, but animates it merely through his glance. He animates Sattva Guna by his glance. Like the example we had discussed previously, that magnet does not come in contact with the iron pieces, but magnet activates the iron pieces. It makes the iron piece move by its proximity to the iron pieces. So the knowledge of Shiva and Brahma is dependent upon Vishnu, who presides over Sattva Guna, from which knowledge arises. Sattva sanjayate jnanam. Therefore, he is called Sarvadrik, the source of everyone's knowledge, including Brahma and Shiva. So this makes him a witness to all, because to be a witness, one must have awareness. Sarvadrik and Sakshi. So Rajas produces distraction, vikshepa, and Tamas produces laya, stupor. Both are obstacles to the witnessing capacity. When somebody is distracted, when somebody is in a stupor, one cannot witness. Since Lord Vishnu is Nirguna, one becomes Nirguna by worshipping him. That is the true result of worshipping Vishnu, not material opulence. Therefore, Vishnu's devotees may or may not have material opulence, since it is not their aim. This is a brief commentary to this 14th anuccheda. Shall we go ahead? 15th anuccheda. Any questions so far?
So that prayer that yourself quoted about the 10.88.8. So the answer to this, that is for a devotee, will be like Lord Brahma point 14 point something, that tatte nukampa. Is that the prayer which we have to give when we are undergoing some sort of tribulation?
Yes. How is it connected here? The present discussion?
No, no. Yourself mentioned, no, he takes away everything. God takes away so that he
Yes.
surrender.
Yes.
So that's why I said that we have to take it like how Brahma quotes in 10.14.8 or something.
Yes.
Tattenu kampasu.
Tattenu kampam susamikshmano bunjana yevatma kritam vibhaka. That is the right mode of seeing the difficulties. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So in case of Lord Shiva, you said that his predominance is in tamas, but the other two modes are also there in the secondary form, right? So, but what about Lord Shiva? I mean, sorry, about Lord Vishnu there? So he is having sattva. So what about the other two? This one, is there any?
Lord Vishnu is not even covered by Sattva
He's just a
Guna.
witness. Okay, so that's
Other
why
two
it's
guna, not only Rajoguna, Tamoguna, he is not even covered by Sattva Guna.
So in that, so there is no question of the other gunas.
Harirhi Nirguna Sakshat.
Yes.
So Lord Vishnu is, he influences Sattva Guna by his proximity to it without being in touch with Sattva Guna. But Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they are in touch with the gunas. Sometimes they become covered by the gunas. But Lord Vishnu is never in touch with the gunas. Lord Vishnu is never has a upadhi of the three gunas, even Sattva Guna. So Lord Vishnu is, by his mere glance, he activates the gunas. Simply by his mere glance. That is why that analogy of magnet and iron pieces are there. The Bhagavatam example, the example comes in the 5th canto. I'll show you that shloka. Karoti Vishwa Sthiti Samyamodayam Yasyepsitam Nepsitam Ikshitur Gunaihi Maya Yatayo Brahmate Tadashrayam Gravno Namaste Gunakarma Sakshine. O Lord, you do not desire the creation, maintenance, or annihilation of the material world. But you perform these activities for the conditioned souls by your creative energy. Exactly as a piece of iron moves under the influence of the lodestone, as magnet, inert matter moves when you glance over the total material energy. Lord Vishnu merely glances over the material energy. He is never in touch with the three gunas. Therefore, Harir He Nirguna Sakshat. He means it is well known that Lord Hari is beyond the three gunas. Prabhupada is explaining that in the purport also. Okay. Will the 15th anuccheda. Atayeva Vishnoreva Paramapurushena Sakshad Abedokti Maha. So, Vishnoreva. For this reason, Brahma spoke to Narada about the direct oneness with the Supreme Purusha only in regard to Vishnu, out of the three Gunavataras. Vishnu is the Supreme, the Purusha. So now he is quoting the another shloka from Brahma's conversation with Narada from the second canto. Srijami tanniyuktoham haro harati tadvashah Vishwam Purusha Rupena. You can repeat after me. Srijami tanniyuktoham
सृजामि तन्नियुक्तोऽहम्
haro harati tadvashah
हरो हरति तद्वशः
Vishwam Purusha Rupena
विश्वं पुरुषरूपेण
Paripati Trishakti Drik.
परिपाति त्रिशक्तिदृक्.
So Brahma says that I evolve the universe as appointed by him, and Shiva dissolves it under his supervision, while he himself, endowed with the three potencies, preserves it as a Purusha. Vishwam Purusha Rupena Paripati Trishakti Drik. So Aham refers to basically Brahma. And then one more shloka from the Maha Upanishad is quoted to substantiate. Sa Brahmana Srijati Sa Rudrena Vilapayati So Unutpatti Laya Eva Harihi Paraha Paramananda Iti Mahopanishadi Sri Brahma Naradam. He creates through Brahma and dissolves through Rudra. That Bhagavan Hari alone is transcendental, supremely blissful, and devoid of origination and dissolution.
विलापयति श्री ब्रह्मणा.
So Harihi Paraha Paramanandaha. So Brahmana Srijati Rudrena Vilapayati Saha Anutpattir Alaya Sonutpattir Alaya Eva Harihi Paraha Paramanandaha. So Bhagavan Hari alone is transcendental, supremely blissful, and devoid of origination and dissolution. So Anu Utpatti Alaya. Utpatti Laya Anu Upasarga Upasarga prefix indicates negation. Anutpatti, that means without origination. Anutpatti Ralaya means without origination and without dissolution. So after establishing the supremacy of Vishnu over Brahma and Shiva and showing that he is beyond the three gunas of nature, Jiva Goswami establishes that although Vishnu is counted as one among the Gunavataras of the Purusha, he should not be regarded as a lesser manifestation. This was also the sense of comparing Vishnu to one oil lamp lit by another oil lamp. When one oil lamp is lit by another oil lamp, the second oil lamp has the same capacity to remove darkness as the first oil lamp. So just as one lamp, though lit by another, is in every respect equal to the original, so Vishnu is entirely the same, identical to the Purusha in essence and power. So Jiva Goswami refers to a verse spoken by Brahma to Narada. So we know in the second canto, 5th chapter, Narada approaches Brahma. Narada glorifies Brahma as Sarvagya and the Sakaleshwara. And then he expresses doubt that sometimes you undergo tapasya. What is the need for you to perform tapasya? Is there anybody above than you? So Brahma responded in length. He immediately denied his own supremacy and he declared the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. So the verse cited, this anuccheda, is part of that reply. The Jiva Goswami refers to Maha Upanishad. From these verses, it is clear that Brahma, Shiva are subordinate to Vishnu, who is identical with Supreme Purusha. If somebody, so therefore, when somebody is asking a pramana for Vishnu's superiority over Brahma and Shiva, we can immediately quote these pramanas. First canto, second chapter, 23 and 24. Second pramana, 10th canto, 88th chapter, 3, 4 and 5. The third pramana is from second canto, 5th chapter. So 3 pramanas we have got. And then the same anuchedas we also saw the many other supporting evidences. So now the 16th anucheda. Tatra eva aha. Can repeat after me. Atranuvanyate bhikshnam.
Atranuvanyate bhikshnam.
Vishvatma bhagavan harihi.
Vishvatma bhagavan harihi.
Yasya prasadajo brahma.
Yasya prasadajo brahma.
Rudra krodha samudbhavaha.
Rudra krodha samudbhavaha.
So this is from the 12th canto. 12th canto, 5th chapter, 1st shloka. So Shukdev Goswami said, continuously being described here in the Srimad Bhagavad Purana is Hari, who is immanent as the self of the cosmos and transcendent as Bhagavan. It is from his delight that Brahma is born, and from his anger that Rudra arises. Yasya prasadajo Brahma, that means from his delight. Rudra krodha samudbhavaha, from his anger Rudra is born. Atra anuvanyate abhikshnam, that means abhikshna means in the Srimad Bhagavatam, who is that person who is repeatedly, continuously being described? That is Bhagavan Hari, Vishwatma. Again, 4th pramana. So atra Shri Vishnur na katita iti tena sakshad abeda eva ityayatam. Atra Shri Vishnur na katita iti tena sakshad abeda eva ityayatam. So in this verse, Shri Vishnu is not mentioned by name. This shows that he is directly one with Bhagavan Hari. The immanent self of the cosmos, the transcendent Bhagavan. That is stated in the third canto Bhagavatam. He indeed is Vishnu. Sa u eva Vishnuhu. So in this particular shloka, the Vishnu's name is not explicitly mentioned. It's not explicitly mentioned, but this shows that he is directly one with Bhagavan Hari. The Shrutischa, Purusho havai Narayano akamayata ata Narayana dajo jayata yata praja sarvani bhutani iti. Again, it is from Maha Upanishad. The Purusha, Bhagavan Narayana, verily intended, akamayata. Then Brahma was born from Narayana. And from Brahma were born all the other living beings. Ata Narayana ajaha ajayata yataha praja sarvani bhutani. So Narayana parabrahma tattvam Narayana param Ritam Satyam Param Brahma Purusham Krishna Pingalam. Again from Maha Upanishad. That Narayana is the supreme Brahman. Narayana is the absolute truth, the cosmic law, the truth, the supreme transcendence. And the Purusha who is blackish yellow, and the Purusha who is blackish yellow in color, Krishna Pingala. Ritam Satyam Param Brahma Purusham Krishna Pingala. And then one more quotation. Ekoha Narayana Asin na Brahma na cha Shankaraha sa Munir Bhutva Samachintayat Tatayeva Vyajayanta Vishwo Hiranyagarbho Agnir Varuna Rudrendraha Iticha. So, in the beginning, there was only Narayana, not Brahma and not Shankara. And he became a sage and deliberated. From him only appeared all these, the universe, Brahma, Agni, Varuna, Rudra and Indra. Mahanarayana Upanishad. The universe, Brahma, Agni, Varuna, Rudra and Indra. So, Tasmat, Tasyaiva, Varnaniyatvam Yuktam. So, therefore, it is also fitting that he alone is recognized as the subject worthy of description in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, now he is giving the 12th canto, 5th chapter shloka is quoted, and then supporting evidences from Maha Upanishad. Different Shruti Vakyas are quoted. A short commentary. In this section, Jiva Goswami presents further references identifying Vishnu with the Purusha. The principal verse omits the name of Vishnu because he never takes birth within the material creation, unlike Brahma and Shiva. This also indicates his identity with the Purusha, who alone existed before the creation. Because in the Bhagavatam 3.8.15, the pronouns he, sa, u, eva, purushaha. 3.8.15. We see the shloka. See. Talloka Padmam Sa U Eva Vishnuhu. Sa U Eva Vishnuhu. This is the section where Brahma is just born. That manifestation of Brahma from Vishnu. Sa U Eva Vishnuhu. So that verse is quoted. Sa refers to the pronoun. The pronoun he in the verse 3.8.15 refers to the Purusha, who existed before the creation, before even the birth of Brahma and Shiva. This is understood from the context of the preceding verses. Although Jiva Goswami has firmly established the supremacy of Vishnu, to make it yet more evident, he takes up the subject again. He raises opposition by citing various references that seem to speak of Shiva's supremacy or equality with Vishnu. Then he provides the correct understanding of such statements. Such a process of establishing a principle is called Stuna Nikanana Nyaya. Stuna Nikanana Nyaya. That means driving a post into the ground or hitting a nail into a wall. So when you drive a post into the ground, you may repeatedly hit on that post. You may repeatedly hit on that nail to ensure that it is very strongly situated. So similarly, although Jiva Goswami has established Vishnu's supremacy, but he takes up different Purva Paksha statements. He raises opposition by citing various references that seem to speak of Shiva's supremacy, then he provides a correct understanding of such statements. Such a process is called the Stuna Nikanana Nyaya. The more the post or nail is hammered, the firmer it becomes. Similarly, the more a principle has objections raised against it that are then refuted, the more assuredly it becomes established. Like suppose when you are building a house, suppose when you are building the terrace of the house, they make the terrace. After making the terrace, what will they do? How will they check the terrace? They will put water and see whether some water is leaking. They will try to put water repeatedly, once, twice, thrice, for few days, and see whether it is leaking or not. Whether it's absolutely leak proof. So similarly, whatever objections is raised and then they are refuted, the principle becomes very firmly established. So as said earlier, Shiva is a very prominent deity in India. And the supremacy of Vishnu is not easily acceptable to non-Vaishnavas. Generally, if you go, there's so much of crowd in the Shiva temple. Vishnu temples are, especially in smaller towns, famous temples, okay, Tirupati and all other, but in Vishnu temples are very less people come. So without clearing this confusion as regards Shiva's status in relation to Bhagavan Vishnu, it would be difficult to develop firm faith in Bhakti and to Bhagavan Sri Krishna, which is the Abhidaya Tattva of the Bhagavad Purana. So hence the present exercise is taken up. So therefore, Jiva Goswami is quoted one more shloka from the 12th canto. So now we will continue the 17th anuccheda. 17th and 18th are little long, but 17th and 18th, with that this section will end. But 17th and 18th anuccheda, they are very interesting, very detailed, many detailed shlokas are there. In the Bhagavatam, there are 4 shlokas. 3rd canto, 4th canto, 12th canto, 8th canto, which talk about almost the equality of Shiva with Vishnu. So those shlokas are explained by Jiva Goswami in these anuchedas. So we'll take up that in the next class. Any questions?
So, Prabhuji, you yourself mentioned 3 pramanas. That was 1.2.23, other was 10.88.325, and the last one was 2.6, right? Or 2.5. What did you mention? 2.6 or 2.5? What did you say? The third one.
2.6.31.
2.6. Thank you.
Is it 2.6 or 2.5.31?
You said 2.5, but I read it as 2.6. That's why I'm asking.
2.6.31.
Okay. And Prabhuji, can you show me the Sanskrit word of the last class? This was when we were discussing. So the Sanskrit word, the screen in which that Sanskrit word is written, because I don't think I've written it properly. One which I
will send this document also, so that this is the Moola Paramatma Sandarbha. Yes, only the Sanskrit. So that we can refer this also. So last class, see, which word? The 15th, 13th anucheda. Is it the 13th anucheda? Hare Krishna, you are muted.
The wood, fire, smoke, and comparing to Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva. So in that, Vikshepa word was used. But I just want to know the Sanskrit word Vikshepa Katavak. Shanta Shuddha Swabhava Katmak. Those I should be able to say properly. One is Layatma Kat something. So that's Sanskrit word.
Tu Shabdena लयात्मकात् तमसः सकाशात् रजसः सोपाधिकज्ञानहेतुत्वेन हेतुत्वेने षद्गुणच्छवि प्रादुर्भावरूपम्. Vikshepa word comes in
Yeah, it's come. Vikshepakatvat.
vikshepakatvat. Sarvata vikshepakatvat.
Yeah. And here that Shanta Swacha Swabhavat Katvat. Yeah, this it's come. It's
Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This is just a request. Just see if you can. You are having a session on Tuesday and Saturday, right? So Tuesday, like 8 o'clock, you are having the session. So the same time is what we have outreach session at home every Tuesday. So I am missing the session Tuesdays.
Okay.
So is it anyway possible to, if only if it is convenient for you and for others, you are all comfortable to shift it to Monday or Wednesday or some other day, Prabhuji? If
Okay.
only, otherwise send me.
Okay. Monday, I understand. Or Thursday? Thursday?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thursday. Near the days.
Maybe we'll try to shift to Thursday. I'll confirm this.
Prabhuji,
Okay.
that revision time becomes very less then. Because Saturday you are having, Thursday you are having. Because, then again, as it is the subject matter is very difficult for and then Thursday if you're taking, then just you get Friday, then Saturday one class is there.
No, you can, like revision, you can just go through the book actually. You do not hear the class. If you want, you can hear. Because we are just basically just going through the same words in the book. So the soft copy is anyway there. So you can go through it. I'm also sent, if I have not sent, I will send that this where the Sanskrit Moola is that file also I will send right away. And the other soft copy PDF is in revise. Because sometimes last week we didn't have any class. Next week also, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have the Brahmachari Sangha in the Govardhanepur village. And depending on the schedule, I will inform whether we'll have the class or not. Okay.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, so if you are having class on Thursday and if you are having class on Saturday, then I know yourself mentioned about how to go through that notes, but your explanation makes it easy for me because of my low grasping power. Your explanation make it. So then, can you send it immediately on
I
Friday?
will send it as quickly.
So then I can revise it on Friday itself. So I'm prepared for the next class. That's why.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Guru.
Hare Krishna. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare